So right now, if we could convince every single person in, let's say, the United States of America, that abortion was in fact murder, and they believed it, abortions would still happen. I know it's a pretty bold claim to make. Science is on our side, and sometimes when you prove to people that abortion is in fact murder, and Rachel can, I don't know where she is, but she can agree with me on this one, that people will look you in the face and they say, I believe that mom should have the right to kill her child, in or out of the womb. And I wish I could say I've only heard this once in my entire life. I've heard it multiple times in person, and it's growing online more and more, and it's starting to become more of an acceptable approach to abortion. So in order to understand how to combat abortion as this generation that we are, Gen Z, we have to understand our society today, and in order to understand our society, we have to understand what happened and how our society came to where it is okay for a mom to kill her own child. My name is Liz Mooney. I am a pro-life speaker. I work with Rachel a lot. I have my Students for Life group, and I also work with Maryland Right to Life and Mr. Miller a lot. And I'm so excited to be here with you all. This is my third Rally for Life, and I love this event. It's so much fun. And I'm so excited to talk to you all about this topic because Rachel touched on it a bit earlier, and the video touched on it a little bit, but I really wanted to talk about how this applies to abortion and how this applies to how society is beginning to view other people. So I'm going to ask questions because I like asking questions. So we all know Charles Darwin and his theory of evolution. And from his theory of evolution comes this phrase that becomes very dangerous, and it becomes very promising to people like Hitler. Does anybody know what phrase I'm talking about? It's a very short phrase, and people use it to justify. Okay, Christina.
Survival of the fittest.
Yes, she heard my talk 2 weeks ago, so she's cheating. But survival of the fittest became very pleasing because the strong can survive and take control of the weak and use the weak for themselves. And you can see how this is very pleasing to the abortion industry. Hitler believed this. That's why he thought he could kill people. And Margaret Sanger believed this as well, as Rachel talked earlier about the founder of Planned Parenthood believed in the survival of the fittest mindset. And it's very, very dangerous because it degrades humans to animals, and it allows for the selfish mindset of, I will survive and I will use others to survive. Humans are not animals, and that should never be an aspect of our society ever. So Margaret Sanger helped with the formation of birth control, which was also used for survival of the fittest. And then we have the sexual revolution and modern day feminism, which instead of doing what it was saying it was going to do and, help women have rights and be equal, it ended up leading to the sexualization and really to the downfall of women. Because it said that motherhood is not a gift, but a restraint. So in order to truly be the women we are meant to be, we must be able to control our bodies. And we must be able to be like men. A lot of feminists use that. But women aren't men, and women should never be men. We're different, and that's a good thing. But it paved the way for contraceptives. And contraceptives were very dangerous to our society today. So I'm Catholic, so I'm against contraceptives, is part of my belief. But also, in general, contraceptives are something that we should look at them very dangerously. Because sex is two things. Sex is pleasure and then the act of creating a child. And contraceptives remove this act of creating a child and only leave pleasure. So sex nowadays is all about, what can I get from you? You don't need to know the person. It's just a one-night stand, No big deal. You don't need to be mature to have sex anymore. You can be a kid. Anybody can do it. You can do it with anybody, anywhere. It doesn't matter. It is horrifying because now we look at other people as objects. What can I get from you? Instead of, how can I live out my life for you? Sorry. So that leads to hookup culture. And so relationships and hookup culture are what can I get from you? Instead of what relationships are, what they should be, which is how can I give to you? How can I love you? But you hear this all the time. People will ask you, but contraceptives mean less abortions. Shouldn't you, because you're pro-life, be against or be for contraceptives as a solution to the abortion issue? But this is wrong, because you're not understanding the problem here. It's because the promiscuity rate has gone through the roof. Contraceptives aren't 100% effective. People don't use them right all the time. Sometimes they break. Sometimes maybe the woman forgot her pill and they're not 100% effective either. So, you know what happens? People still get pregnant. Women still get pregnant. And yes, only women can get pregnant. And so in reality, women are still getting pregnant, but their view of pregnancy has changed. Because this act that they were doing, which was supposed to be no risk, now they have the risk of a child. And so some other factors affecting hookup culture is pornography. Now that with technology, the widespread use of technology, everybody can use porn. And the numbers, I found them on NIH, and they were actually terrifying. NIH actually had this paper on how porn was horrible to people, and I was proud of them. But 46 to 74% of men and 16 to 41% of women watch porn. But the numbers for women should be a lot higher, though, because women don't watch porn, they read it. It's become like a ladylike thing now. I have a big problem with modern day feminism. Like, it's not okay. But it's like a classy lady thing to have your porn books that you read. And it's horrible. And during COVID, porn and depression were the most searched topics online. And the world's top porn site traffic jumped to 1 billion visitors per month. And see, the dangerous thing with porn is that you look at people as objects. You sexualize others. The other gender is not to be loved. It's an object for your own pleasure. And it's very dangerous. And also including porn, we have social media. Social media is a blessing and a curse, as also is technology. But we have all these porn models who are on social media with tens of millions of followers. And do you know who's watching them? Young girls. Young girls are seeing these women and going, well, they're happy, they're successful. I want to be like them. How do I get rich? How do I live in this amazing mansion? I sexualize myself. I make myself like these women. And that's very dangerous. So we have so many different aspects here that are infiltrating our society. We have this idea that humans are animals, survival of the fittest. We have, you need to sexualize yourself. Other people are objects. It's all about you. And that's where abortion comes into the picture. Because in a world where you see others as objects and a child comes into your life, you're not going to keep that child. Because it's all about you. And this is the mindset that is all over our culture. It's all about you. This child is going to ruin your life. You will never be the same. You will have to have hard times of raising this child. You should kill that child. And people are going to do it. There's no morals in a world where humans are seen as animals. And I remember my mom asked me the other day, she said, Liz, how do you talk to somebody who doesn't believe in God about abortion? How do you convince them it's wrong? I said, well, the science, I would say, is what I would prove to them. But in a world without God, there are no morals. In a world without God, is abortion wrong, or is abortion just survival of the fittest? So that's why in order to beat abortion, it's not about just proving the biology. It's not about defeating legislation, even though it's really important and we need to do those things. It's about bringing Christ back. It's about bringing the nuclear family back. It's about bringing Christian morals back. Because without them, our society will fall further and further into ruin, and Christ is the only way we will ever get out of this. We need to bring people to Christ, and that's the only way abortion will ever end, and it's the reason why I'm so confident that abortion will in fact end. Well, never will officially end, but we can make it morally unacceptable and illegal for the majority, but abortions have always happened, sadly, but we can make them less. So we need to show the beauty of not also having sex with random strangers. That's something we also need to fight. Less than 1 abortions are due to rape and incest. If every single couple, obviously you should wait for marriage, that's my opinion, I'm Catholic, so. But if you're gonna have sex, if every single couple was like, okay, we're gonna take the risk, and if a child comes, we made that choice. We have to take the risk. Do you know how much abortions would be down? Like 1% is rape and incest, less than 1%. That leaves a 99%. So we need to teach people to take responsibility for their actions, love one another, and live their lives out for Christ. Thank you so much.